All right, folks, this is another Health Haven podcast. We have four-time bikini champ, two-time Olympian, Breena Martinez on. How you doing, Breena?
I'm doing really good. Thank you. So happy to be interviewed again. You were probably one of the very first to actually interview me. So it's always great to be able to touch base with you because, so much has happened in the last 3-4 years.
And I think, I started following you, early on in your career, and I've seen the ascension. And what strikes me as kind of crazy is how busy you've become. Now, you're only 5 weeks away, right?
Yeah, this Friday should be 5 weeks out from the Olympia.
Yep, and how's the training going?
Training is going good.
Okay.
It's funny because I like to start very early, especially when it comes to the Olympia. The conditioning and the expectations are just so much higher that I like to make sure that I am already prepping at least 20 weeks out. Okay. So I've been pretty much, going prep strong this entire time while focusing on my athletes and my clientele that I have at UFC Gym.
Mm-hmm.
I was promoted last year to assistant fitness director.
Nice.
So, I'm definitely doing a lot outside of bodybuilding, but I think that's what kind of keeps me young. That's what keeps me focused. I like to have my hands in a lot of things.
Uh-huh.
I think that no pressure, no diamonds,
Yeah.
I like to put more because I like to be challenged. I like to fail because I know I'm going to grow. So the more I can take on within reason, the better for me, because that just means I am going to be obtaining a lot of knowledge and something that I can pass on to others. So the busier, the better for me.
Now, I talk about that quality, that mindset all the time with just associates and clients and people I come across. I don't know, right? I just turned 42 a couple of days ago, right? I don't know.
Oh, that's happy belated.
Yeah, old AF, as they say in the business now. Old AF. But listen, I feel great, so I don't care about that. But listen,
right?
I keep talking about this mindset that I seem to come across and seem to share the same frequency with people, especially in this industry, where we put added pressures on us. And I'm not sure if it's psychotic or not, but we tend to do it. And I think a lot of people outside of what we do, they go, well, why the hell don't you just rest, sleep, relax? Where do you get that internal drive from? Where does it stem from?
I think it stems from a lot of things. I think, growing up, my dad always told me that because I was a female and because I was a minority that, I was never going to get my fair shake. So I was told from a very young age that everything that I would want in life, I would have to work 10 times harder than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, I would just maybe get a glance at. So I had to start thinking I need to set my own expectations and exceed those. So I set the bar really high for myself.
Okay.
And, sometimes too high. But I think that isn't really such a thing. I think that through your experiences, you're going to learn and you're going to grow and continue to be the best version of you. So I think that that's kind of been my go-to is work hard. I don't know anything else. And I don't think anything else would feel better if I didn't work hard and got it. I just think that hard work always makes you feel like you're applying yourself.
Now,
and I think when you...
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, but there's and I totally get what you're saying. I totally get the pressure that we put on ourselves. But do you ever feel an imbalance, whether it's in your personal life, family life, just you feel like you're juggling too much, where you think, man, should I stop? Should I slow down? Now, my answer is no, but people think I'm a little psychotic. But I just want to get your viewpoint on it.
Absolutely. I think there may be times where it might cross your mind, but when you truly love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like a sacrifice. I look at the big picture. If I don't look at the big picture, sure, yes, you miss family events and you don't get to do, some of the things that you would like to do maybe, but I think of, I'm trying to do some big things here. I want to become a household name. The way everybody knows Jillian Michaels, I want people to know Breena Martinez. That's a huge goal. It might be crazy to some, but for me, it's going to require all this work that I'm doing on the front end. So when I look at it like that, I think that it's going to happen regardless, where you're not going to have perfect balance. I think it's your mindset that changes towards it. You know, that's really what it comes down to. I don't really think that there is a perfect balance. But it really is your mindset. I think Gary Vee was the one that said it best. Like, people think he's crazy because he works all the time and they call it work, but he's like, I'm having fun.
Right.
Some people have hobbies. Some people have things that they like to do, but everything I'm doing is what I like to do. And I completely agree with him. Everything I'm doing right now, I love it. I love helping clients. I love helping athletes. I love training. Like, isn't anything I would change about it. You know, just I wish that there was more hours in the day so I can accomplish even more.
And you know what's great about that is that you have one of the rare social media pages, right? And just if I pick Instagram for example, where your page, every picture, every line, everything that gets emitted from that page is nothing but positivity. Now, you know, when we talk about balance, like, I know, for example, that there's days that I have bad days. There's days with the spouse you have bad days. Financially, there's days with my 3 kids, or dealing with a client, or whatever, a project you're working on just fell apart. But you seem to push that negativity to the side and promote and make sure there's always a positive spin on it. So
absolutely.
So again, that's, to me, I love that, because I know behind it there's a lot of negative things we all have to deal with, but I just love the fact that you always come out with positive energy.
I think that it's so much easy. It's easy to talk about all the negatives.
Yep. Absolutely.
You know, it's easy to complain. It's easy to be, you know, to let anything put you in a bad mood.
Right.
But I think it's harder. I think it takes a skill. I think it takes a conscious effort to be positive. And it's not fake. You know, most people that know me in real life are just like, man, you really are, you know, this positive. And I have my moments.
Yeah.
But usually I just have a conversation with myself. And sometimes the posts that you see, I might be struggling, and so I'm putting that up because it helps me to uplift others. So if I'm helping somebody else, it's also like I'm preaching to myself too, because if I'm trying to be this good example for others, I'm going to fall in line, and then it just ends up being, you know. So
I could totally relate to it. I could totally relate to it, and I make sure that I always put a positive spin out there, because I do the same thing. I talk to myself, and then I even, when I post these pictures up, some of the lines are, it's to Elliot. It's to keep myself accountable and actually live out what I'm trying to, you know, show by example. You have to actually live it out.
Yeah. And most of the time, I like to share things that I know other people are going through. And sometimes I get tons of messages, whether it's from emails or just direct message on Instagram on a lot of different issues that people are going through. And so many times posts are derived from that. You know, I see that there's a common factor that's happening. And so I might, you know, that week I might just put up something about, hey, look, this is where I'm at. I'm not exactly happy with where I am. Right. That's not going to put me in a bad mood. I'm going to keep pushing. Right. You know, or sometimes on my Instagram live cardio sessions that I've been doing on Fridays, you know, I try to talk about issues that, again, also come up in my inbox. When it comes to, like, you know, post competition rebounding and just different things like that. I want to try to stay relevant, and I want to be a source that people can come to. I don't claim to be an expert. Right. I like to share my life experiences, because at one point in my life, you guys probably would not even recognize me. Like, if you guys would have met me 5 years ago, you would think it was a completely different person. Really? So 100%. I was never a very confident person. I was never, I was a little bit shy. I was, you know, I definitely was that worker bee. I was kind of following what society tells us to. Right. Go to school, right? Get your degree, the machine, work your job, as I call it, pay your bills. Machine. Exactly. And I don't want, and it's like, you know, by meeting my husband and just experiencing life, like not being sheltered, but experiencing life itself. It's those experiences that I realized we are fully capable of doing whatever we want to do. We just have to do it. And it's scary because it goes against the grain. It goes against what we're being told our whole lives. Yeah. But if we really, truly just follow what makes us happy, that is key. I've been around people with tons of money, and they're not happy. Right. How is that? We're told to chase the dollar, that's going to solve all our problems, but yet people are miserable, they have millions. That's right. That's right. I mean, this conversation, I feel myself talking about these type of topics more and more. It's almost like
there's a separation right now in society
Mhm.
where you have the people that are like, I have to do my 9 to 5. I'm too scared to get out of that box. And then you have this
Mhm.
other group, this like rebellious group that is really setting the mark, really
Mhm.
starting to run a different race where they're mobile in Silicon Valley. These guys are mobile now. They don't do 9 to 5s.
Mhm.
They are everywhere with a
Mm-mm.
laptop and a phone. In the fitness
Yeah.
industry as well, we're like becoming entrepreneurs from this industry, and it's round the clock. And I think the fitness industry has been one of the dominant factors of social media. One of the
Mm.
niche markets who have really learned to use the resources of social media in such a positive way, creating brands and creating a whole different way that mainstream is viewing fitness.
I mean, it just feels really awesome to be able to just be you.
Yes.
And that's why my message to everyone is be you.
Right.
I'm not trying to be anybody else. I just want to be the best version of me and continue to learn and grow. I mean, that truly is the key. That's why I'm just so happy. You would think someone so busy, it's like I'm burning the candle at both ends and in the middle. But I'm so happy. I'm enjoying life. I'm enjoying meeting people. And I'm hoping that I can be an example to others and inspire them to want to beat to their own rhythm as well.
I had read this somewhere, and I tried. This was about maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So I read this quote. It was it was a couple of statements, and the statement was, when you start realizing that you're running out of time instead of having time, you
Mm,
start operating in a different like density. Your life
mm,
changes once you believe and you
true.
understand that you're running out of time. And that's how I tell
Mm-hmm.
people, like, that's why I could totally understand how you could be so busy but you don't feel like you're stressed or whatever. You just feel like I want to do as much as I can before I get out of here. Yeah, it's
Right.
absolutely.
And I like to, I always make references to Gary Vee. He's just
Yeah,
somebody that
Gary
I'm
Vee is
just
great.
would love
He's
to
great.
meet, one of these days.
Yeah.
But one of the things he had said recently was, I think it was on one of his videos. A woman had asked him, "Give me something that I can." She wanted to take a video of him in for her phone so she could always remember,
Uh-huh.
this message. He was like, "Just give me this message. What are like 3 things you could tell me that'll keep me motivated?" He's like, "I'm gonna give you 3 words." He said, "You're gonna die." That was it.
That's
And
it.
I was just like, man, like huge exclamation point at the end of that. Like it makes sense. It was like, what are we doing with our lives?
That's
And I
right.
think about that all the time. Like, what am I leaving on this planet?
That's right.
I don't want to just be known for having a good fitness body. There's more to me than that.
Right.
Bikini is one thing. I'm using this as a platform because I do recognize how big, bodybuilding is and how it goes hand in hand with fitness.
That's right.
But my true ultimate goal is to be able to reach more people. So that's the real reason why I compete. I don't get me wrong. I love the trophies. I like the competition. But it's more about what kind of platform I can create with it, and I truly believe my purpose is to serve and help people be better. And so if I can use this as a way and work hard and get the accolades needed so I can get to that platform where I can reach more people, then I've done my job.
Absolutely.
But I'm going to continue to chase. Just like he said, because I'm going to die someday.
Right.
So what am I leaving behind?
Exactly. And most of it is like that journey, that chase. Now you mentioned Jillian Michaels earlier, right?
Yeah.
Turning like our attention, just shifting gears real quick to the business side of the whole thing, right? Because that goes hand in hand with it. What current projects are you working on right now that you could discuss with us?
Well, I did recently just get back from Boston a few weeks ago. I'm working on a project with Reebok. They actually reached out to me. They're coming out with this new MMA shoe that's supposed to be coming out this fall. Okay. So I actually did my first video shoot with them. So that's supposed to air in October. So that was really awesome.
Nice.
And they just reached out to me again, and they want to do a campaign. So I'm supposed to be going back to the East Coast in the next 2 weeks to do another photo shoot for them. So that was really awesome. I mean, that was a huge opportunity. I mean, you see a lot of bodybuilders with, more like bodybuilding apparel, but you don't see like the mainstream, like the Reebok, the Nike, the Under Armour. So
that's the crossover.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I mean, that's kind of, definitely what I'm looking to do more of. I'm also going to be doing a lot of shows coming up. So I know that through my shows, I've got these photo shoots that are kind of mixed in between, and a few interviews that should be coming out this fall as well. So I'm definitely staying busy, continuing trying to just put out as much information and content out there as possible. You're going to see more videos, more training videos, more supplement and nutrition tips. I'm starting to do a lot more filming. So you caught me on a good day, because every Monday and Friday I'm supposed to be filming with my sponsors in San Carlos, a company called Snack. Victor Conti is the CEO and founder. He's been with me since before I even stepped on stage. He's like, whatever you need, you let me know. So he's really been helping me a lot as far as just making sure that I'm fully prepared for the Olympia. So I'm just really, really excited for everything that's to come. There's a lot. I mean, I can't talk about everything, but there's a lot that's coming down the pipeline between now and November. So it's going to be fun.
Excellent. Now, going back to your training prep real quick for the Olympia, and I know you can't give out everything, but I know you changed it to 20 weeks, right? From the 12 to 14 or 16. What made you switch up the 20 weeks? You just felt like your body needed 4 more weeks, or you just wanted to be like totally zeroed in, or what made that change?
I one of the things I focus the most on is just constant improvement, and that's what I tell my athletes. Yes, we focus, everybody trains for first. So to sit here and say I'm trying to win, that's not enough. That's a given.
Right.
What I look at is the improvement, and I feel that it's really a game of conditioning at this point. I've been doing this, I've probably done well over 22 shows now. So it's like I know what the judges are looking for. I know and what they're looking for in regards to my physique. And I know it's really the conditioning, the lower half conditioning. As females, we do carry most of our weight in our lower half. Right. Our upper bodies are going to come in peeled and dialed first, and it's the lower half that seems to just kind of make or break us towards the end of prep. So rather than play that race against time, I'd rather just work hard on the front end. So once I started seeing that, that's kind of what I started doing. And I actually started prepping last year for the 2017 year, right after Ferrigno in October, to make sure I was ready. So that's how I snagged those 2 wins earlier this year. Was I never let up. So my first real break was after this past Arnold Australia in March. So I did take like a 8-week break, and that was the first time I had a break since I started.
How'd you feel physically and mentally? Did you feel all right?
I hated it. I hated every moment of it. Oh, yeah.
And I'm so that's what separates.
Terrible.
That's what separates. The mindset is like other people would say, oh, my God, you're taking a break. I need a break. Meanwhile, most of us are like, Jesus Christ, I hate taking a break.
I don't like taking breaks. But I understand that it's important, and that's one of the things that I'm trying to make sure that I dispel, because a lot of times, you see those hashtags, no days off, and no rest days.
But that's until you blow out your Achilles or, you tear a rotator cuff. So it's all independent. It really comes down to an individual thing, because we got to take into fact calorie intake. We got nutrition, genetics, mental stability of the person that's doing it. So all of that is much more than like no days off, hashtag. It's bigger than a hashtag, way bigger than a hashtag.
It is, and that's one of the reasons why, as a coach, I have to make sure that I program off days and actually tell them, no, really, you need to be off. And I stalk their Instagram and Facebook, what are you doing? Why are you hiking? It's off day, because I have to protect them.
Yes.
There's a lot of things that can go wrong in competing, and that's one of the reasons, why I'm so passionate about trying to help as many people as possible, both on and off the stage. Yeah. Because your health, all you have is your health. It's like, go and do it right.
It's all you have.
So I just want to make sure that people are doing it the right way, and I got to lead by example. Absolutely. And so that's one of the other things that I changed, was making sure that I'm having the appropriate recovery days and taking the appropriate measures to make sure that my body's fully recovered, so I can continue to go ham AF, like they say.
Yes. Ham AF. Now, Breena, before we get out of here, I know there's a bunch of people that probably want to contact you for either to become your new client or just follow you on social media, pick up information from your nutrition and your workout videos. Can you give us all your social media handles or your websites, anything they should be linking on to follow you on?
Absolutely. So my Instagram is at Breena Martinez, and if you look on the profile, there should be an email address there. It's info@breenamartinez.com. Okay. And so people can reach out to me there. I do respond to all of my emails personally. I try to respond as quickly as possible. So that's
you got to respond quicker. There's 1,000 comments down there.
I mean, you need
Doesn't
to.
Doesn't it get
you
crazy?
Need to.
You know
it
what's
does,
funny?
But
like
it goes a long way when you're
on. Well, I've seen like the growth, your social media growth. So I'm like, you could see like people going from 5,000 to 10,000 to 15, 20,000, and then you see the comments match that. So instead of like 3 or 4 comments, now you got 150 comments. Like, hey, get back to me. What's up?
Yeah. And I make it a point to try to respond to every single one.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Even on there, because it is about connection. It's about interacting, and I do feel that I understand my responsibility as a leader in the fitness industry and as a professional athlete. Like, you need to give back. I mean, the only reason why you're popular is because of the people that are following and watching you and those things. So you got to spend some time with the people.
Absolutely.
I love expos. I love meet and greets and meeting people. It's the coolest experience just to hear that the things that I do really, truly motivate and inspire people. It always recharges my batteries, and I'm just ready to go back into war.
Listen, trophies are great, but you know what's better? Being the people's champ. I always say that to people. Because that lasts forever. Trust me, that lasts forever. Another Health Haven podcast. Lucky enough to have Breena Martinez on. Breena, thank you so much for being on. Truly appreciate it.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be on. And thank you so much for supporting me. Like I said, before I even got to my first Olympia, we did an interview together, and here I am going to my third. So this is a really awesome treat. I appreciate you. Many blessings to you and your family.
They say where I'm from, real recognize real. That's an old school cliche, but it's real.
Yes.